Gun. Hell yeah, man. Tusk 2-1, Fox 2, Viper. Good kill. Tusk, check in. 2's up, 5 by. 1 copies.
Left. Expect visual approach. Acknowledge receipt of information Tango and advise aircraft type on first contact. Nellis Air Force Base information Tango, time 1455. Wind 330 at 10. Visibility greater than 10 miles. View 8,000 feet. Temperature 28. Dew point 11. Altimeter 30.09. Runways in use 03 right 21 left. Expect visual approach. Acknowledge receipt of information Tango and advise aircraft type on first contact. Nellis Air Force Base information Tango, time 1455.
Chief, remove the wheel chocks.
Copy. Wheel chocks are now removed.
Lead's got a good jet. 2 has a good jet, ready taxi. Raj, let me get our clearance and we'll roll. Nellis clearance, Tusk 2, clearance on request, ready to copy.
Tusk 2, clearance expect range entry at Elgin via the A10 TAC. North departure is filed. Climb and maintain Angel 6. Expect 12,000, 10 minutes after departure. Departure on 385.4, squawk 4031.
A10 TAC north, range entry at Elgin, climb for 6,000. 12,000, 10 minutes after departure. Can I get that squawk again, please, for Tusk 2?
Tusk 2, read back correct. Squawk is 4031.
That's 4031 for Tusk 2. Thanks, guys. Push ground. Is up. Ground, Tusk 2 is 2 A10s with Tango with the revets for 03 right.
Tusk 2, Nellis ground. Runway 03 right, taxi via Golf, Alpha. Hold short at Alpha. Tango is current.
Tusk 2, taxi Golf, Alpha, hold short at Alpha. Let's roll. 2. The game plan
Elgin, and you and I will look at and discuss a few things. After that, we'll head to the north into Caliente Charlie, and we'll turn some with the drones and shoot a few live AIM-9s and even do some aerial gunnery. We will not spend a lot of time discussing tactics and the art of BFM. We'll leave that to the fighter community.
Sounds great. Excited to do some air-to-air for a change?
For sure. It's always fun turning with another jet.
Agreed.
Most of the time, everything we do is in sim, so actually getting to shoot at some drones is going to be rad.
Is this something we get to do very often?
No, not at all. It does happen from time to time, but not too often within the A10 community.
Roger.
Tusk 2, switch tower, 327.7. So long.
Tusk 2, switching tower. See ya.
Up on tower.
Ready for departure?
Yep.
Nellis Tower, Tusk 2, holding 03 right at Alpha, ready for departure.
Tusk 2, tower, winds 330 at 10, cleared for takeoff runway 03 right, change departure.
Tusk 2, clear for takeoff 03 right, see ya.
on departure.
Tusk 2 is passing apex on the A10 tack north.
Tusk 2, now's departure. Radar contact. Turn left heading 010, maintain 6,000 until Dry Lake. Contact Blackjack on 377.8.
Left for 010, maintain 6,000 and switching Blackjack.
Who's up?
Raj. Blackjack, Tusk 2, check in.
Tusk 2, Blackjack, send it.
Tusk 2 is north of Nellis in the climb, looking for entry at Elgin.
Tusk 2, entry approved as requested. You own Elgin and Caliente Charlie, surface to Angel 17 until 0930 local. No traffic expected in Elgin. Traffic above your block from 0900 in Elgin. Monitor this frequent
Warning,
updates.
autopilot.
Entry at Elgin and Caliente Charlie until 0930, Tusk 2.
Let's push for steer 3 into a stable orbit at Angel 15. Once established, we'll start today's list.
Roger, heading for steer 3. Alright, this should be good. Ready to proceed.
As you may know, the A10 has a few air-to-air kills to its credit. In Operation Desert Storm, Captain Swain strafed the PO-105. He was flying 770-205, which is now on a stick at the U.S. Air Force Academy. According to his account, when the round hit the chopper, it looked like it was hit by a bomb. The second kill was against another helicopter and also in Operation Desert Storm. This time it was Captain Sheehy in 810964 shooting down an Mi-8 with the gun. Last I knew, 964 is still proudly serving with the 23rd Fighter Wing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I've seen both actually.
Neat. As you can tell from these two instances over the 30-plus year operational history of the A10, air-to-air is not something that is common for the HUD community, but it can certainly happen, so we need to train to it. aircraft. As a matter of fact, there have been many humbled Hornet, Viper, and Eagle pilots, and even a Raptor driver. That big straight wing gives us an amazingly tight turning circle, and there are not too many fixed-wing aircraft that can out-radius those. If you're flying against someone who has never fought a hog, you can usually catch them off guard and get the kill if you're quick about it. In the A10, you're good for about one turn. After that, your energy state is low and it becomes a game of survival until a wingman can help you out.
Copy that.
Like any fight, we're going to want to try and drive the fight to exploit our strengths in regards to both ourselves and our equipment. With us not having a great deal of thrust at our disposal, trading altitude for knots is something we're probably going to have to do, if we can, to survive. Heading for the deck has the added effect of taking the fight somewhere where we, as A10 drivers, should feel comfortable and have the advantage. Your average fighter puke is not going to have a great deal of experience down low, and with any luck, he'll fly the damn thing into the ground. After all, a maneuver kill is a kill.
Hell yeah, it is.
The only thing with taking the fight into the weeds is that once we're down there, we're stuck down there. We don't have the thrust to climb away, and once your opponent realizes he can check out with a zoom climb, you're now a sitting duck with nowhere to go.
Yeah, I could see how that could be problematic.
Indeed. Okay, I'll shut up for a while. We'll pick it up when we get to Tier 3. Coming up to Tier 3, get yourself into an orbit and we'll start the lesson.
Alright, I think I'm happy with this. Go ahead and begin when ready.
Firstly, let's get into air-to-air mode by depressing the master mode control button for more than 1 second. It does not matter what mode you're in, be it nav, CCIP, guns, or CCRP. Pressing it for over a second will go straight to air-to-air mode. Let me know when you're in air-to-air mode.
I'm now in air-to-air mode.
Actually, let's also go ahead and put the master arm into train so we can look at Symbology without shooting anything for now. Also put the patch switch into the gun arm position.
Master arm is set to training and gun arm is set as well.
You know what we should have went over first? Disregard, we'll come back to that. Okay, looking at the air-to-air HUD, there is not a whole awful lot of difference between it and the other modes. Basically, all we get with it is the gun aiming symbology, which there is a lot going on there, and the AIM-9M Sidewinder Raketen.
Roger.
Below your airspeed in the HUD, you should see MAN 6, just above DCS mode, and FOM. This indicates that we're currently using the manual profile within the air-to-air submenu. With the HUD SOI DMS left and right short, we'll cycle through the active air-to-air submenu profiles. There are 10 default profiles for fixed and rotary winged assets. Additionally, you have 2 with parameters that are manually set, one for fixed wing and one for rotary. We'll talk about that a bit more in a minute. For now, just go ahead and cycle through the profiles and note how the funnel changes a bit with each one.
Alright, I'm happy with that.
slotted in behind me here. I think it might make the next descent a little easier. Drop back on my 6, maybe a quarter mile to a half mile behind me. And when you're set up and happy, let me know and we'll move on.
Check 6.
Nice to see you back there. One more thing before we go any further. For the love of God, make sure you're in train and not armed on that master arm switch, please.
Master arm verified, set to training.
Alright, let's have a look at the gun-related symbology a little bit more in depth. The gun funnel is the most obvious part of it. The purpose of the funnel is to help you in lining up the gun shot. It does this by taking into account the target detail like your and your aircraft maneuver. Using the correct HUD profile is going to be critical for a gun skill. If you're trying to gun an F5 but you're using a profile for an A10, you're going to have a bad time. Since the F5's wingspan is less than half of the A10, you would pull too much lead if you line him up in the funnel and shot, which happens to be a pretty good segue into how to use the funnel.
Don't you mean MiG-28?
Maybe. It's classified. Using the funnel is really easy. Once you've expertly maneuvered your A10 behind that MiG-28, you may be using a 4G negative dive, exploiting that weakness with its inverted flight tank.
Rumor has it they can do a negative G pushover, actually.
Alright, let's dial it in.
Sorry, it's hard to put that horse back in the barn.
Understandable. Okay, so using the funnel is as easy as getting behind the bandit and pulling so that the target's wingtips just touch the inside of the funnel.
Sounds pretty easy.
In theory it is, but there are some considerations. Firstly, in the A10, we don't have a radar backing us up to provide a no-shit, dead-on aiming solution. So even when used properly, the funnel is still the best guess. Because of this, it is advisable to fire a 1-second burst and rake the target with bullets by either starting to shoot out in front of the target and relaxing the G so that it flies up the funnel, or start behind the target and pull harder to bring it down the funnel. Also, when shooting air-to-air, we turn pack off, so we get more bullet dispersion to effectively shotgun the target a little more.
That is smart.
Definitely. The next part of the gun symbology is the Air Mass Impact Line, or AMIL. The AMIL is a solid line that extends downward toward the ground near the top of the HUD. The AMIL shows your bullet drop from just out of the muzzle of the gun to 2 seconds time of flight. Even though the 30 by 173mm has excellent ballistics, we still have to deal with aerodynamic drag and gravity.
Roger.
Just like in the air-to-ground mode, we have the gun bore line at the top of the HUD. Nothing different there. So the last thing gun-specific we'll talk about here is the MRGS lines at the bottom of the HUD. The multiple reference gun sight lines are the 5 centrally collapsing lines at the bottom of a HUD in an arc. The MRGS lines help you pull the correct amount of lead when at medium aspect angle.
expand on that a bit?
Sure. So if we're approaching a bandit head-on at high aspect, or from behind, low aspect, our gun funnel will do a good job of lining up that shot. However, it's not well suited for medium aspect. The MRGS lines will help position ourselves for a good tracking gunshot. We discussed how the funnel uses the target's wingspan to line up a valid shot. Well, the MRGS lines are going to be compared against the target's fuselage. What we're going to want to do is position ourselves so that the length of one of those MRGS lines is equal to the length of the target's fuselage. If the target is larger than the line, we're pulling too much lead, and we need to relax G to create some distance. If the target is smaller, we'll need to pour more lead to get into the right position. Keeping the bandit's fuselage equal to the length of the line will help you walk around the circle and arrive at a good range and position to transition back to the gun funnel for a shot.
So the MRGS lines are not used for targeting, just to help you get into position for a shot, yeah?
That is correct. Before we move into the AIM-9 stuff, let's go through setting up the manual profile within the air-to-air submenu, or AAS, real quick.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
Alright, put the if into test, then scroll down and select AAS. Are you now looking at this?
A-firm.
Alright, so we can see all the standard profiles, but notice there's not one for your MiG-28, so we'll make one. Scroll down to Man 6 for manual 6 wing and select it by pressing Enter on the USB.
Done.
We can now build a manual profile for the F5. Sorry, MiG-28. As you can see, we can input values for the wingspan, fuselage length, and airspeed. While we know the target's wingspan, the airspeed is going to change, so give it your best guess. If memory serves, the F5 has a 25-foot wingspan and is like 47 feet in length. We'll say with that small wing, it'll be at about 275 knots. Go ahead and put all that into the AAS. You're going to need to select the line you wish to change, and the data rocker on the USB to adjust the value.
Alright, 25-foot wingspan, 47 feet long, and 275 knots all inputted.
Great. Scroll down to Store and hit Enter. This should take us back to the AAS profile page. Let's pop down and look at the man rotary profile real quick.
Alright, I have the manual rotary profile open.
Perfect. Notice how we do not have an option for target speed, and here wingspan is replaced by diameter of the rotor disc. It says rotary wingspan, but it implies disc diameter.
Noted.
Great. Head back out to the AAS menu and I'll show you how to activate and deactivate profiles.
Okay, back looking at the profile page.
Good deal. The active profiles are those that have a circle off their left side. Go ahead and deactivate everything other than the A10, SU-25, and the Man 6 profiles for me, please. To do this, simply move the pointer wheel next to the profile and hit enter on the USB.
A10, the Frogfoot, and my manual fixed-wing profiles are all active. All the others are off. Except for the manual rotary. I can't turn that off.
Yep, I forgot you can't disable either of the manual profiles. Nonetheless, hit exit and put the shift key back into on, and then scroll through your AAS profiles as you did before. Now, when you scroll, you should only see the profiles we left active and not all the others.
Sweet.
Go ahead and go master arm and gun pack both back to safely.
Both switches safe.
Alright, moving on to the AIM-9 stuff, which there's not a lot of. As you know, the only air-to-air missile we carry is the AIM-9 Mike and the training version, the CATM-9 Mike, or simply CAP. The AIM-9 Mike is a short-range, all-aspect IR missile. We typically carry 2-by on the DRA when we're downrange, if there's a chance anything could get into the air. We carry them for self-protection, of course, but you never know when we may get to take a shot at a helicopter, or maybe even an unsuspecting fixed-wing aircraft. First things first, though, I'm going to need you to be real cognizant that those are live AIM-9s out there. I'm going to slide out in front of you so you can see how some of this works. You will be locking me up with a live missile. The margin for error is going to be non-existent. It is critical that master arm is in training and you keep your thumb off the pickle.
Understood.
At this time, I want you to place the master arm switch into the down position and verify that you're in train.
Master arm is set to train.
So, with the AIM-9, you'll notice that when you go into air-to-air master mode, the AIM-9 will come up automatically by steering to the seat of growl and seeing the Seeker reticle cage in the top center of the HUD. The infamous Sidewinder growl will sound continuously while you've got a missile on the rail and are in air-to-air mode. If you have the Seeker cage and there is a heat source within the Seeker's field of view, the growl will change to a higher pitch, indicating that it sees the heat, whether it is a target or something else emitting heat, like the sun. If you uncage the Seeker at this point, it will snap towards the heat source and achieve a lock, which has its own tone. Once you have a solid lock, the Sidewinder will then switch to the higher pitched lock tone. From this point, the Sidewinder will automatically maintain lock until you command it to break lock, a larger, more juicy heat signature appears, or the target exceeds the Seeker's impulse limit. All you have to do from here is press and hold the pickle until the missile comes off the rail and hope it guides all the way to the target. Being IR, it's a fire and forget missile. The only thing you need to do once the missile is away is prepare for a follow-up shot should it bite off on a flare or just miss.
Roger that.
Okay, let's have a look at actually using the damn thing.
Let's do it.
Still back there in a good position?
Affirm.
The first thing I want you to do is, with the Seeker cage, manually place my jet inside of the Seeker reticle in the HUD. As my jet nears and falls within the reticle, notice how the growl changes in tone. Then, while the Seeker is still caged, move my aircraft away from the reticle. Notice the pitch change again, and also that the reticle does not follow it.
Alright, I see what you're talking about.
Now, I want you to maneuver me into the reticle again, and this time head China hat forward short. This will uncage the Seeker with me within the Seeker's field of view. The Seeker should snap to my aircraft and lock me up. You will hear the lock sound. Do this now and let me know when you have me locked up.
I've got tone. Good luck.
Nice. Moving on. Hit TMS aft short to break, lock, and recage that Seeker. Next, we'll work on gluing the Seeker to the target and the scan pattern.
Sounds great. Ready when you are.
Alright, I want you to maneuver so that my jet is out of the HUD and just above it. Once you've done that, look at the circular scan and self-track mode.
Alright, I've got you just above the HUD.
Great. Hit TMS forward short once for me to get into circular scan. Verify you see the Seeker reticle moving in a circular movement. Also, if you run into any issues with the Seeker from here on, it's a good habit to just recage it and try it again. To recage the Seeker back to Boresight, hit TMS aft short.
Reticle is moving in a circular pattern in the HUD now.
Great. Now that the Seeker is in circular scan and you have given it consistent self-track, whenever you place me back into the AIM-9 scan zone and it sees me, it will automatically lock onto my aircraft. Go ahead and give that a try once or twice. After you've locked me up, it is still TMS aft short or China hat aft short for brake lock and recage.
operation. I've managed to get it to work, and I'm ready to move on.
Great, let's move on to manual Slew mode now.
Alright, I'm ready.
With manual Slew, you're going to have to move the Seeker around via CDC. Pretty simple operation. With the HUD source, just drive the reticle to the target via the CDC. When the Seeker gets near a valid heat source, it should automatically lock onto that source. Hitting China Hat or TMS aft short will break that lock and re-engage the reticle. Give that a quick try for me and let me know when you're ready to practice.
There, let's move on.
Sweet! There is one other method to AIM-9 onto a target, and that's using the targeting pod. So, we'll have a quick look at the pod's air-to-air mode, then how to use it with AIM-9. Get the pod spun up and in air-to-air mode. When you're ready, let me know, and we'll talk about it.
Alright, the pod is on and in air-to-air mode.
There's not much to the pod's air-to-air mode. The host has commands are the same as the air-to-ground mode. When you enter air-to-air, your pod will be bore-sighted looking at the gun bore line. Simply steer your jet to get it on the target or move the pod towards it. Note that while in air-to-air mode, your TDP will still have all the same field of view, zoom, and CCD IR functions as the air-to-ground mode has, but there will be no indication where the pod is looking, unlike in air-to-ground. You're going to want to put the target inside of the 4 field of view bracket. When this happens, you'll see rates at the bottom of the TDP page and a cross appear over the target aircraft. A quick press of TMS forward short will command a point track on the aircraft indicated by the pod centering the target in the middle of the display, tracking cross over it, and rates changing to point at the bottom of the MFCD. From here, sway the HUD and press China Hat forward long to slave the AIM-9 to the track.
That sounds highly efficient.
To be honest, I'm glad it's a feature we have, and it would behoove us to train to it, but I think that 98% of the time it's going to be quicker and easier to padlock the fucker, put him on the nose, and get a good old-fashioned lock the way Pappy used to back in the day.
Agreed.
I'm glad you do. So, with that said, let's give this process a try. If you'd like to adjust your position to give yourself more room to work, feel free to do so. It's actually easier to do this with a few miles between you and the desired target. Just give me a heads up when you're ready to proceed.
I'm ready.
With the pod in air-to-air mode, get a TDP track on the target by slewing the pod so that the target flies through the field of view bracket. When it does this, press TMS forward short once to get a point track on it. You very well may need to try this a few times. Once you've got a good point track on them, let me know and we'll move on to the next part of the process.
Good track.
Kick ass. Now that we've got a good track, China Hat forward long to slave the AIM-9 to the pod. When it does this, it will also lock the target if it's within gimbal limits. Listen for that lock tone. From here, Just hit pickle and the missile will be on its way.
Roger.
If for some reason you need to recage the AIM-9 or really do anything to it HOTAS related after you slave the Seeker, you're gonna have to re-soy the HUD to do so.
That makes sense.
I think that will just about cover all the AIM-9 things aside from missile rejection. It's not super uncommon to have issues with caps, things like no tone or won't cool. Hell, we fly the piss out of them. Hopefully, the lives will be a little more dependable if we ever need them. Regardless, we have the capability to reject a missile and step to the next one if we have a problem getting one to work. To reject the missile, hit China Hat aft short twice. Again, hitting it once recages the Seeker, the second press will remove it from service. If you accidentally hit China Hat aft twice and did not mean to remove a missile from service, have no fear. Continue rejecting missiles. Once all of your missiles are rejected, they will all be returned to active status. Fancy that.
Roger.
With that, let's start putting some of this to use. Let's start by getting you to employ simulated sidewinders on me.
I have waited so long for this.
I said simulated, so don't get too excited. Alright, Kermit, the very first thing I want you to do is make damn sure that Master Arm is in training. Please do that for me.
Master Arm set to train.
Good. Gun pack down in the gun arm position.
Gun arm set.
Good. The first thing I want you to do is simulate a AIM-9 shot on me. Find me in the pod, leave the Sidewinder to me, and shoot it. After that, I want you to employ the other one using a circular scan.
Roger, stand by. Dust 2-1, Fox 2.
Good. Now go to circular scan and shoot the second one.
Dust 2-1, Fox 2.
A few considerations with the winder. Even though the 9 mic is all aspects, it is always going to have the best chance with a tail-on shot because of the hot engine stock. Also, even though it does have flare rejection, it will still bite off on them given the right circumstances. As a general rule, the less time the missile is in the air, the higher the TK will be. That really is the balancing act, though. You don't really want to launch it out there at the bleeding edge of its range and give the guy enough time to drop the throttle, cool the engine, dump out a bucket of flare, to put himself between the missile and the sun. At the other end of the spectrum, you don't want to be so close that the missile does not have time to maneuver, or you wind up flying through a ball of sheet metal and rivets.
Speaking of range, I'm assuming we can range with the pod, but is there anything new in the Charlie to feed us that info?
Correct. There's nothing in the jet that gives us ranging information in the HUD or otherwise. The pod can give us range data, but you'll need to pick up the contact in air to ground, then get a point track on it, and later. Which, as you can tell, is going to be problematic in most, if not all cases. The best thing I can tell you is you're going to have to estimate the range and Fox 2 when you're within range and all that.
Roger that.
To cap that off, we typically like to shoot the missile between 1/2 and 2 miles. Also, when you do shoot it, try to pull a little lead so that the missile has some maneuver left, thus leave less energy to get to the target. Changing subject to the GAU, let's quickly talk about FED, then work on your aerial gunnery. So the Firing Evaluation Display System, or FED, is going to give you several pairs of dots that are spaced as wide as the target's wingspan. wingspan along the bullet's trajectory. The dots start at a time of flight of 0.18 seconds and range out to 2 seconds. Feds will display in the HUD as long as the trigger is depressed.
What? That's it?
Well, as its name implies, it's a system for evaluation. After you shoot today, we'll review your tape. Part of that is going to be reviewing your gunnery. We'll use feds for that review and evaluation. It's a debrief. That's all.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, now I want you to go in for a good gunshot.
Roger, going in for guns.
As you close in, try to get into a good offensive position, the control zone. Stabilize if the situation permits, and go for that sweet, Zen-like gun skill.
Roger. Tusk 2-1, guns, guns, guns.
Good deal. Are you ready for the real thing? Or do you want to practice some more in training mode?
I'm ready to go now. Let's roll.
We ride north.
Blackjack, Tusk 2, leaving Elgin for Caliente, Charlie.
Tusk 2, Blackjack copies. Contact Whedstone on 317.450. Good day.
Whedstone, 317.45, Tusk 2.
Tucson.
Whedstone, Tusk 2 with you, leaving Elgin for Caliente, Charlie.
Tusk 2, Whedstone, good to have you. Drone airborne and orbiting as fragged. Darstar has picture, Whedstone has control. Squawk 4077 and ident.
Whedstone with control, Squawk 4077. Tusk 2 with the flash.
Tusk 2, radar contact. Proceed to IP cores, maintain Angels 12, report tally on the drone. First drone will be guns.
Head to IP cores at 12,000 and we'll report when visual for the gunshot.
Visual friendly, tally, enemy.
What?
Call tally for enemy, not visual.
Point taken.
Also, before we get there, re-enable the F-16 profile in the air-to-air submenu. You remember how it was done, right?
Affirm, good point. Alright, Biff. Where's this guy gonna be?
He should be up near Steer 4 at 15,000. If you're not able to find them, feel free to call Darkstar on 114.500 and get bra from them.
One's visual, F-16.
Don't tell me, tell Whedstone. Just when you do, it's tally, not visual. Remember, it's target, not a Dennis and a Mooney flying VFR. Also, do remember to put your master arm in arm position.
Whedstone, Tusk 2-1 is tally, F-16.
Tusk 2-1, Whedstone, roger. Cleared hot on that target with guns.
Tusk 2-1, in with the gun. Tusk 2-1, guns, guns, guns.
Hell yeah, man. Nice shooting.
Whedstone, Tusk 2-1, splash target.
Tusk 2-1, copy. Push for Budweiser. Maintain Angels 12, report when tally.
Tusk 2, pushing for IP Budweiser. Angels 12 will report tally.
Alright, this guy should be defensive, so expect him to try and deny you a missile shot. Try and time the shot so that you're shooting in between him dispensing a bunch of flares.
Sounds like a party.
Should be fun.
Warning, autopilot.
Tusk 2-1, tally Viper, IP Budweiser.
Tusk 2-1, Raj. Stand by for launch authorization in 30 seconds.
Tusk 2-1, standing by for the shot.
Tusk 2-1, fights on. Tusk 2-1, you are cleared hot on your target.
Tusk 2-1, Fox 2, Viper.
Good kill.
Whedstone, Tusk 2-1, splash target.
Tusk 2-1, roger. You are cleared to RTB.
Whedstone, Tusk 2-1 is RTB at this time. Blackjack, Tusk 2-1 is with you just off Budweiser, RTB.
Tusk 2, Blackjack, climb and maintain Angels 15, fly direct Moapa, contact Nellis approach now, 291.725, good day.
Climb and maintain Angels 15, direct to Wappa, and contact approach for Tusk 2, see ya. Approach, Tusk 2 with you, climbing for 15,000 direct Moapa, looking for visual stop, 2-1 left.
Tusk 2, Nellis approach. Roger, continue direct MOPA. Expect visual 2-1 left. Squawk 4031 and IDA.
Direct to Moapa and Tusk with the flash.
Tusk 2, radar contact.
Tusk 2, fence out.
Fence out.
Fenced out.
What'd you think?
Holy smokes, that was awesome.
Yeah, man, good time. Not a bad way to spend $100,000 every time you pull the trigger, huh?
Wow, that's 9 mics cost, huh?
Yep, well, roundabout. Back in my F-15E days, it was a send-off for a big checker flag exercise. There were like 5 to 7 Air Force and Navy squadrons there shooting 9 mics, X's, 120s. The cost for all of that was eye-watering, but it was great training and validates that our stockpile is serviceable and our PK is what we think that it is.
They actually shoot down F-4s for that, right?
At the time, yes. They pulled F-4s out of AMARC and reginned them, flew them down there as manned aircraft for a while, then converted them into unmanned full-scale drones. They also have subscale targets which you shoot as well, by the way. As you've seen now, they're starting to use S-16s as full-scale targets.
That's nuts. So, any parting shots on today's sortie?
Of course. I neglected to mention the ECM pod. Just remember that we do have an airborne threat mode. If you're defending against the MiG or whatever, make sure the pod is in that mode and go music on.
Noted.
And maybe a word or two about the AIM-9 mic. Even though the 9 mic has improved flare ejection in practice, it still leaves a lot to be desired. That is why it's important to bounce your foe when he doesn't expect it and try to remain unseen until it's too late. If you can deny him the opportunity to defend against your missile or mitigate the amount of time and opportunity he has to maneuver against it or put out some flares, the higher the AIM-9 CK is going to be. The old adage that it's the guy you don't see that kills you is still as true today as it was in the skies over France in 1915. Also, make it a good habit that as soon as the first missile is off the rail, you're preparing for a follow-up shot with the next missile. Of course, hold that second shot until you're sure whether or not you need it, but be ready as soon as the first missile goes sailing by the target or goes stupid off the rail.
Words of wisdom. Thanks, man.
That's what I'm here for.
Then maybe I'll pick your brain a little more. Any tips for engaging the helos?
Sure. If able, I'd try to get underneath them. It's going to be easier finding them against the blue sky than the ground. If that's not possible, just do the best you can to locate them. A lot of times the AWACS is going to have a hard time seeing them because they're so low, so you won't always be able to get broad on them. If you know the general area they're in, just work that area until you find them. Also, I tend to keep my sidewinders in circular scan anytime I'm looking for something. The missile has found the target before I've seen it several times.
Copy all.
Also, it is worth mentioning don't get too comfortable when you're hunting helicopters. Firstly, you're going to be well within AAA range, hell, even small arms more than likely. Also, helicopters are not defenseless. Some carry IR missiles, laser-guided missiles, and turret-mounted cannons. They can reach out and touch you. Don't wind up a kill mark on an Mi-28.
That would be embarrassing for sure.
Confirm you wanted a straight in for 2-1 left.
A-firm, straight in stop for Tusk 2.
Tusk 2-1, roger. Cleared visual 2-1 left.
Tusk 2-1 is cleared for the visual for 2-1 left, thanks.
Tusk 2-1, contact Nellis Tower 327 decimal set.
327.7 Tusk 2-1, see ya. Nellis Tower, Tusk 2-1, visual left, stop.
Tusk 2-1, Nellis Tower. Winds 330 for 10, confirm gear, clear to land, runway 21 left.
Tusk 2-1, 3 green, cleared to land on the left.
Altitude, altitude.
Tusk 2-1, clear at Alpha, contact ground 275.8.
Clear at Alpha. Contact ground, Tusk 2-1.
Tusk 2-2, Nellis Tower, cleared visual, runway 21 left.
Cleared visual 21 left. Tusk 2-2.
Ground, Tusk 2-1, clear of 2-1 left, holding at Alpha. Taxi for the Revets.
Tusk 2-1, taxi Alpha, Golf for parking.
Alpha and Golf, Tusk 2-1.
Right on, man. Good job today. Make sure your crew chief paints a few kill marks on the side for you. See you in debrief.
Sounds good to me. That's, your Air Force class? Still not seeing it.
Lima Charlie, you me? Tusk 2, contact tower at 327.00. Tusk 2, vacate when able, contact ground when clear of the active. Tusk 2, departure copy. Radar contact.
Tusk 2 to contact tower 327.70, good day.
Good morning. Go ahead, Devil 2. Devil 1, contact high roller at 243.9. Test cleared and GA dispatch. All ranges should be cleared. Tusk 1-1, taxi Alpha, Charlie, call for Thunder.
Tusk 1 cleared to resume on navigation.
Extend right at Tyson 4 nearly drone speed to Whiskey Oscar to it. Liberty 1-2, pick a right-hand orbit at the truck stop for me.
Shit, hot guys. That looked great.
All controls are clear. 4-2, switch to tower on 327.7.
Tusk 3-1, winds are calm. You are cleared for takeoff.
Left turn for Nellis 030 inbound and contact Nellis Tower. Crane 1-1, Tusk 3, clearance, standby 1. Nellis Tower, report you holding 03 right at Alpha. Tusk 3-1, Nellis approach. Tusk 3, Nellis departure, switch Blackjack at 377.8.
Send it for Blackjack.
Tusk 3-1, go ahead.
Tusk 3, send it.
Buzzer 2, Nellis Tower, line up and wait 03 right.
Tusk 2, Nellis departure, contact Blackjack on 377.8. Tusk 2-2, orbit for station 10 miles out, please.
Tusk, go for Blackjack.
Tusk 2, read back correct. Contact ground on 275.8. See ya.
Tusk 2-1,